Hey people, hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. Today I'm going to go over Runick Spright. If you guys don't know, Runick Spright is quite a popular combination with Sprite. However, has been nerfed obviously with the reduction of Fountain to 1. It was made popular by a certain YCS run by a very capable player. I can't remember their name off the top of my head. However, it hasn't really seen any prominence outside of that, as the runic side was hit pretty quickly after that. Outside of that, I still think it's a fun sort of synergy, and I'm going to go over each and every card and sort of why I picked this for my deck layout. Then I'll show you some of the combinations and stuff like that at the end of the video. The big element of this deck that I say is outgassing your opponent. That's why you don't see many hand traps or board breakers in the deck. Runick really is our board breakers at the end of the day, and unfortunately they don't really break many boards like they used to. Outside of that though, we have a lot of cards that allow us to get our combo onto the field and start doing things whether they like it or not. So first and foremost, we have the Psi Frame Driver. One of our hand traps is Psi Frame Gamma. Cannot be normal or summoned, or must be special summoned by a card effect. When your opponent activates a monster effect while you control no monsters, you can special summon both this card and one driver from your hand. Alright? So this is a 2-star. So by special summoning this, we open up our Sprite line. So this is a good card to have. If you guys don't know about the Nimble engine, I mentioned it in how to play Sprite. But basically, Nimble Angler is a card that allows you to special summon up to 2 other Nimble cards, namely Beaver. We can send this with Sprind, or we could send this for special summoning Hugin, who, if she is summoned, she can search out Fountain by discarding 1 card, and that will get us out Beaver. So the Nimble engine is actually quite good, and Runick Spright in general. Outside of that, we have Hyperia. I had her in, I think it's a her, in my Pure Sprite deck. Basically, if this is summoned, you can draw 1 card. It's a 2-star. It enables the Sprite. It's a good normal summon, and we can get it back out again with like Gigantic. We can search for it with Gigantic Sprite, and part of our deck is namely like outgassing our opponent. So we like as many draws as possible. That's also why we have Cap Shell here. If this card is tributed, you can draw 1 card. If this is used as a material for a link summon, you can draw 1 card. If this is a card that's detached from an XIZ monster to activate, you can draw 1 card. So there's actually like combos that you can do with basically Sprite Elf and Gigantic Sprite. They can draw up to +2 with this deck. Up next is Sprite Blue. We have 3 Sprite Blue, and we have 2 Jet, and we have 1 of Red and Carrot. You can basically search out Red and Carrot with Starter and Blue. Blue is obviously our sort of our 1-card starter, because you can search out Jet, which you can search out Starter, and you can fuse Jet and Blue into Gigantic to get the last one. Also floodgate your opponent from using anything other than level 2 and etc. But yeah, there's nothing else that I can say about Sprite other than what I have said in my how to play Sprite video. But the big thing about Sprite is obviously the big floodgate with Gigantic Sprite, and also the multiple negates that you can get on field with Red and Carrot, because basically you want to basically cock block your opponent. You're wanting to your main like goal is to either deck out your opponent or just simply smother them with guys and negates. Yeah, having Red and Carrot on field at all times is a good thing. Ash, obviously, I mean, you could replace Ash with something better. I would argue the mole charmies are more better for you than ashes, but it's really up to you. Triple tactics talent, you know, people are going to want to stop your combos and stuff like that. This will allow you to outgas them by drawing more cards or taking control of their monster or hand ripping them. Fountain, we need a fountain in every single Runick deck. I have the full Runick engine here. You want a ratio of 15-ish Runick cards in your deck. Or like, you don't want to be lacking in Runick cards, because basically you want to be comboing off Runick cards so that you can get the +2 every single turn. And because we've got all these like +1s and stuff like that, it's more likely we will pull them. But we want a good healthy amount of Runick cards in our deck, and try and have at least one of each kind, as they're all once per turn. So if you draw more, you can sometimes not be able to do stuff because you've used your once per turn of the other ones. But yeah, definitely. I mean, do I need to go over Runick? I mean, this searches out, this destroys a spell. This is basically like your monster negate. This makes one of your monsters like have a second life, but it can attack. This will banish for as many monsters your opponent has on the field. This one lets your opponent draw 1, and then you banish 4. But the important thing about this draw 1, right? If your opponent is in exactly, like, say, 4 cards, you play this. This is a deck out, because you banish the top 4 cards of their deck, and then they have to draw. So it effectively decks them out. Outside of that, there's Runick Dispelling. This basically, like, you put this on your field, and like, if they use a card that brings another card to their hand, you can basically hand rip them, which comes up quite a lot. And obviously Spright Starter. I don't know if I have to explain Spright Starter, but you know, obviously it's a sort of 1-card combo into blue into jet, etc., or blue into red or carrot, etc. I don't think I need to explain that. Check out my Spright guide. I don't know if I have to cover everything, but we keep 2 Hugin, you know. A lot of people will ash the first Hugin, so you might have to get the next one out. Also a 2-star, which is the crux of, like, oh, I hit something. It's the crux of the synergy with Spright. You know, you get 1 Hugin on the field, you can start summoning Sprites and stuff like that. Also, it's a special summon, so you're not locked out of your normal summon. So say you pull Beaver or Hyperia, you can normal summon and benefit from that. Gary, if your opponent doesn't just simply banish your Runick Fountain with SP Little Knight, which is the crux of, like, one of the main weaknesses of this deck is SP Little Knight. If they've destroyed the fountain, you play this, and you basically get fountain back, and everything's hunky-dory. This guy here, he's alright. You can basically use this guy as sort of an SP Little Knight in a way. You can also use him to sort of flood the field with mob, which can sort of drag out the game into a grind game in a way. Gigantic Spright, you know, the boss card of the Spright deck. You know, you can use Hugin as his material to get that double attack. Obviously, if Hugin's out, you're not going to be attacking that turn, but it's a good wall body. You can use this to search any of the level 2s. Zeus, I mean, you can sort of climb Zeus with Gigantic Spright. Now, you might be saying, oh, well, you're going to blow up your fountain with this effect. Well, we do have Jerry to sort of work around that. You can use Jerry to get your fountain back. But, yeah, I mean, like, in a grind game, Zeus does come in, and you can sort of climb with Typhon or Gigantic Sprite, whichever is better. And yeah, it does come in. It does come into play sometimes. Obviously, next up is Typhon. I mean, Typhon, a great floodgate, a great removal, a good grind card, and entirely it just comes into play more often than you'd like. And next up is IP Masquerena. You want to use this for making whatever Link boss monster you have. I will say that Zeus is like sort of a flex spot, but for my boss monster, I've put WP Fancy Ball. Honestly, this is just something I'm trying out. You can use otherworld ones like Underworld Goddess, Avramax, or something else, but WP Fancy Ball is the new hotness, and it works really well with other cards as well. Like I have SP, and I think SP is a good, card in general. Because we make a lot of fusion monsters like Hugin and stuff like that, we can make sure we get this effect here. And yeah, it's a good sort of card to like sort of draw out the game with its Banish 2 effect. Outside of that, Sprite Elf, I mean, I think we should always run at least 2 Sprite Elf. You need 1 Sprite Elf to set up, and you might need the second one if that one gets banished or the game goes longer, etc. And yeah, and then Sprind, this is sort of a Call by the Grave. This allows us to Call by the Grave or Angler and summon 2 for more combos. But outside of that, he does have some effects that concern having XYZ on the field, but rarely come up at all, to be honest. I went over SP Little Knight and Promethean Princess in a deck that we have like 1, 2, 3, and then these guys as fire targets. I think that basically Promethean Princess fits pretty snugly. It's a good removal, it's a good sort of grind card, and there's no reason why not to have this in the deck. Now, the extra deck isn't super tight. I wouldn't say it's omega tight. You could probably switch out a few of these for other things. It's sort of subjective. It's not really super like crazy what you could change out for these, but it's really up to you. Other than that, though, this is Runick Spright. I'm going to show you some combos after this. I don't think this is the strongest version of Runick, and I don't think it's the strongest version of Spright. However, it's mainly due to the fountain at one thing. And honestly, when this was at full strength, right, it was mainly one guy. One guy was winning with this deck, and other people sort of tried to like replicate it, but once people were more familiar with the deck, I feel like it sort of fell off. But anyway, some quick honorable non-engine mentions. Foolish Burial can dump Angler for summoning 2 beavers without going into Sprint. You can use Sprite Double Cross. It's a really good trap and could fit perfectly easy into this deck. I don't tend to use it though, because I like a different end board. But Digin Buster is also a great utility card, as like this basically just allows you to negate the activation of any card, and if you do some burn damage. And it's also rare, so if you're looking for a flex option that's not going to break the bank, this definitely is a great one. But yeah, so I really struggled finding any combos online, so I'm going to just sort of do my own like replay. I'm going to combo off on this NPC. So yeah, we have a situation here where we've got 2 Runick cards, and yeah, okay, so what we could do is do like this, Yeah, special summon. And we summon you again. Basically, boop. And then we can use activate you again. Start from our hand, boop. And get our Runick Fountain. Got that set up. Now we can use our quick play Runick cards. Now we've got Sprite starters, so we can just use this. We can go into getting our blue out. That's going to allow us access to our other cards. So we use this to get our basically a red out. And we special summon this. Oh, ooh. And we can use this and go into basically sprint. So we can use this. Ooh, ooh. And we can activate sprint. And we can throw away our angler. And we can get our nimble engine out. Boop. Boop. And then we can make our buddy. Boop. I'd probably be making them in defense position, but you know, you can sort of gauge whether or not you need to do that. We will throw our beaver. And then we're going to summon our carrot. And we're going to use this to special summon our elf. And yeah, we can just use that to make a blue. Now you have an option here. You could make IP Masquerena or just leave these bodies up in the field. You have 2 negates, and you have this flashing fire. So as soon as they special summon a monster, you pop it, you draw 2. I'm gonna go for the IP Masquerena. I think it's gonna come up based on, you know, what I'm doing. So just go oop oop. And yeah, anyway, that's the typical end board. You know, you would use elf to summon back carrot and sort of use both, hopefully carrot and red to negate 2 things, and then eventually use IP Masquerena to link summon your boss monster or a Promethean princess, which you can then pop off with an elf on the next turn. Now, other than that, yeah, the deck doesn't really do well going second. You're sort of hoping for a lot of Runick cards if you're going second, sort of pop things off. Obviously, there's a lack of hand traps here. You could add mulch armies to make sure you have more draw power. I like to use triple tactics talent due to the whole K9 era that we're going through right now. But if you guys have any like comments, leave them down below. Now I am kind of dooming a little bit with the fact that Runick Fountain is at 1, and we are missing Totally Awesome. He's been removed from the game, but outside of that, you know, this deck still slaps a lot of the competition in the rogue tier. A lot of people will immediately sack upon seeing Runick Fountain a lot of the time. And yeah, I mean, give it a try. It's not completely like unplayable. I feel like there's a lot of negativity in the viability of rogue decks entirely, but give it a shot. Honestly, just make sure to keep at least 15-ish Runick cards in your deck at all times. Anyway, if you have anything interesting to say about Sprite or Runick in general, if you've still not completed your campaign code thing, put down your campaign code down below. And if you have anything that you think I might have missed, or some strategies you think I might have missed, put that down below. Anyway, Catch you guys next time. Like, comment, subscribe, and have a wonderful day.